Tomorrow is the 17th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, and Americans are commemorating and rebuilding what was lost on that day in 2001. A subway station in Lower Manhattan that was buried in World Trade Center debris finally reopened over the weekend. And near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the Tower of Voices was dedicated Sunday. It is the final piece of the Flight 93 National Memorial. Chip Reid is on the grounds of the memorial where he attended that ceremony. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning. That is the Tower of Voices directly behind me. It is 93 feet tall in honor of Flight 93, and it is essentially a very large musical instrument intended to recall the voices of the 40 people who died here.
This is the sound of one voice.
In Shanksville, Pennsylvania Sunday, this rain-soaked but stalwart crowd refused to allow the elements to interfere with a ceremony honoring the heroes of Flight 93.
I hope the words that we express today are as powerful a tribute to the heroes and heroines as your presence in this weather.
On September 11, 2001, Tom Ridge, then the governor of Pennsylvania, rushed to the crash site.
The sound at the moment took my breath away. It was louder than the Army Chinook helicopter that brought me here. It was the brutal, and I think sometimes unbearable sound of silence.
The silence of this pastoral and somber place will now forever have a new sound. The music of wind chimes. Soon there will be 40 installed here to symbolize the voices of the 40 who died. Those voices were immortalized in phone calls and voicemails left by the passengers and crew before the plane went down.
I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. Please tell my children that I love them very much. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby.
We don't look at the 40 passengers and crews as victims. We look at them as heroes.
Before the rain fell, we talked to Gordon Felt, president of the families of Flight 93. His brother, Ed Felt, was a passenger on the plane.
Obviously, they wanted to live, but they also knew that in order to try to survive, they had to fight. And in doing so, they lost their lives, but they averted a far greater tragedy.
That tragedy was the destruction of the U.S. Capitol, which is believed to have been the target of the hijackers.
What does the Tower of Voices add to this memorial?
Well, for me, the Tower of Voices is a symbol of defiance. 93 feet tall, standing at the entrance to this memorial defiantly, speaking for our loved ones.
Paul Murdoch is the architect of the Flight 93 Memorial.
It's a monumental piece. It's meant to be heroic. This is a battleground on the one hand, but it's also a final resting place of these 40 people.
Okay, here we go. There will be another ceremony here tomorrow on the anniversary of 9/11. President Trump and the First Lady are expected to attend. Norah?
Chip, thank you so much. You know, I just was at the 9/11 Museum here in New York on Friday, and the stories are so important to be told about what happened then, the lives lost, because even today we have all of the law enforcement, first responders, all suffering the after effects, some of them with cancer. They still need to be taken care of as well.
Yeah, that's right. People will be thinking about this day and how we came together in the aftermath of that. As we look at the landscape today, it's important to just take a step back and breathe.
That's right. And all the heroes, and particularly on Flight 93, Todd Beamer and the others who rushed the cockpit so that it wouldn't hit. I mean, that amazing courage in that moment is extraordinary.
Save the Capitol.